Hi everyone. Welcome to the Fat Lady Knits and I actually remembered the name of the channel today, but this is not an and episode. I hope I had to take a deep breath there because this past week has been full of some challenges for me. The challenge that's important here in reference to my craft has been my traveling circular sock machine table. Because I go to Crankins. Well, I haven't been to one in a while. And one of the reasons I haven't been to one is my table fell apart on me. I had a table that I bought. The legs are in my favorite color. I was happy as a clam. And one day, one of the screws became loose. So the table almost collapsed and blue was on it. And I was like, no! So I recruited help. I thought maybe the screw was, in my head, the screw was loose. Just get a man with some strength to screw it back in. Someone did that for me. And the table was still loose. So I recruited someone else. Or maybe it was the same person. And this time we put glue around, screwed it in tight, put glue. That was dumb. We should have just gotten a bigger screw because the hole had gotten bigger. So it's too late now. That tabletop is shot because no matter what screw we put in, it does not stay. Okay? So I called a friend and I explained my problem. And he's like, I know a carpenter. We can fix this. And I was like, yay. I ran to the hardware store. I bought some wood. I had them cut it. When they were done, I had two pieces that could be a tablecloth and just an extra piece. Whatever. I took the tabletops to my friend, and he and the carpenter looked at it and they were like, no, we have something better here. If y'all knew that, anyway, they cut, the carpenter cut a new tabletop for me. And it's right here. Okay, I am trying not to bend my head because I do these videos and all people see is the top of my head. So here's my new tabletop. So blue would be sitting right here in this notch. Turn it around so you can see. Okay, and you see these things at the bottom. That's where one of the screw got loose on the other tabletop. And so they gave me the tabletop back. They still owe me a piece because they told me they created a strip to go from here to here and from here to here so that while I'm using the table it tends to vibrate so things don't fall off of it. But I haven't seen that piece yet. I've seen the person who promised it to me once or twice. Definitely I've seen him twice, but when he gets to it, he gets to it. Anyway, I brought this home. I drop it off at a prince I know. I've dropped it off at his home, and he said he would add the hardware for me. Okay. 3 weeks go by, and I hear nothing from him. So I said, you know what? Let me go get my tabletop. I got my tabletop, and I came home. I looked at it, and I was like, I gotta be able to do this. But he'd said to me I needed a special drill bit. I ran to YouTube. I saw what they meant. I was going past the 99-cent store one day and I went in and they had the bit that I needed. So I bought it. I came home. I attempted to use it, but apparently I didn't know when you put a bit in the drill, there's a thing you use to tighten it so that it doesn't come out. So I'm trying to use the piece and it's coming out. And I'm putting it back in and I'm screwing it, but I didn't know. Anyway, I called the prince. He comes over to help me. Hours later, we have the table up, but it's tilted sideways. One leg is wonky. No matter what we do, we can't get it straight. We can't get it level. And one leg is shaking. The prince looks at me and he says, I'm tired. I'll see you tomorrow. It's been how long? I haven't seen him since, but that's all right. I am grateful for his help. He tried. And just in case someone wants to know, why do I call people prince, princess, king, and queen? That's because I am filming, and one person, well, more than one person said to me, under no circumstances are you to mention our names. So, okay, not a problem. Okay, so everybody who's older than me becomes a king and a queen, and everyone younger than me is a prince or a princess. Done with that. Okay, back to my table. So, I decided I can do this. I watched what he did with the drill. I can do that. And I can use a screwdriver. So I went, I took apart the whole table, and I decided to put these on by myself. All three of them. When I was done, I screwed the legs in. And guess what? The table was level. The table was straight. It looked like my traveling table. I was like, carpenter, carpenter, look at me. Okay. So my table was up, and I was like, I can now film that Pico episode with Blue. So I have to move my yarn mask, my weights, my light, and Blue onto this new table. And I went to get yarn so I could do the Pico episode. And I realized the cone of active yarn that I have been using was done. And it finished just, I had this much yarn left after I'd finished the sock. I did not realize it. So I said, let me go and get some yarn and wind it, and I can do the Pico episode. So I put the yarn, where's that? The yarn, oh, I don't even see it. I must have put it somewhere. Oh, it's down there. I put the yarn winder on the new tabletop, and I start winding yarn. And I notice that there's an earthquake under the table. The table is shaking like there's no tomorrow. And I'm like, oh. If I had put Blue on this and she fell, I don't know what I would have done. Because I'm looking back now and I'm like, when I bought Blue, I should have bought 2 machines. Okay? We'll get into that in another episode. But at least if something happened to one, I could use the other one. And I say this as someone who owns an Erlbacher Speedster. But that's a story for another episode. Anyway, I finish winding the yarn on the shaking table, and I take the table apart, and I call my friend who got me the new tabletop. And I explained to him what happened. He's like, I'd love to help you, but you know, I'm in Puerto Rico right now. I was speechless. I was like, I remember him telling me he was going to Puerto Rico, but I didn't remember when. So I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. This man is on vacation and I'm bothering him. And he's like, don't worry. When I get back, I will help you with your table. And then he says to me, and did you get the hardware that I recommended? Because it's already tilted at an angle. So you shouldn't have the problems you had with the previous table. I got quiet. And he was like, did you get? I was like, no. And then he got quiet. And he didn't say it, but I could hear, you idiot. Why didn't you do what I said? But he's too nice a person to ever say that. Okay. So I ran to the hardware store and I was like, I'll take these off and I'll put these on. Okay. It was hard enough finding them in the hardware store since the one package that was hanging there, someone had stolen the screws. And it was only because the young lady helping me had great eyesight. She looked down on the floor and was like, what's that? And there was one tucked down under a pallet thing they had there. So I got these. I came home and I'm like, I'm taking these off and I'm putting those on and then I'll screw the legs into my table. There's only one problem. The hole in this is much smaller than the screw in this. Okay? And the screw in this fits the table leg. Okay? What's that? See that opening? Okay? So now I don't know what to do. It's back to the drawing board. I'm going to wait till my friend comes back from Puerto Rico and let's see what he can do. In the meanwhile, I miss my travel table so much. But it is what it is. You don't always get what you want when you want it. Okay. So that was one of my challenges. We won't talk about the others. Enough. What was good this week? Well, I finished. Remember this hat from last summer? And I said I was going to put the Knit Picks palette at the top. And this is a yarn that's supposed to felt, but it doesn't felt a lot. Or at least not for me. So now I have my hat. I didn't put red, so it doesn't look like Target's logo. They say, there goes that lady, she has a Target on her head. But it's blue, it's done. And here's my little stitch marker. I make those. Those are so much fun. The only problem I notice is that this is supposed to be a rib. So it's my interpretation of a rib, and apparently I did not interpret well. Because this is curling. Real ribs don't curl. So either I have to put a line of crochet across to flatten it, or I could cast on and put a real rib. But I don't know that I want to do all of that. Maybe after I wash it, let's see what it does. Okay, but this is done. So I at least have one new hat for winter. Okay, now what else? Remember these? Last time you saw, I only had one finished. Okay, this time both are finished. Okay, and these are proving to be popular. Some folks have looked at the colorway and they're like, this is gorgeous. And I've learned, the people I know, when they say that, what they're really saying is, where's mine? Okay, I got the message. Or as my cousin used to say, got the point? Okay, I've got the point. The other thing, what have I done? Remember these? This is Serenity yarn. I did my after heel. I did my after toe, both of them, because they're two pairs of socks. This one is unfinished at the top. This one, I don't like this hand knit top. This rib is hideous. I was looking for that scallop look. You can do a scallop on the circular sock machine. I'm going to take this out. But one of the things I want to do first, though, is to have the person who I intend to wear this sock try it on and see how high it goes on her foot, and then decide to do the cuff at the top. At the top. What is the top? I'm going to do a cuff at the top. I think it'll be a ribbed cuff. Okay? But we will see. She might decide she wants something else. Okay? But so far, these after... Okay, I'm always pulling Lycra off blue. Okay, because she's right in front of me and I've got stuff piled on her. But let's see if I can get the Lycra to divorce me. Okay, stay there. Okay. These, I've made some progress on these. These are going to be really shorties. Here's my after toe. I'm conflicted about this one. I love the hand look stitching at the sides. I really do. I think it looks really nice. But I don't like that triangular shape when the sock is flat. Someone else might, but I really don't like it. So I'm thinking I should just throw these on the circular sock machine and do my regular rounded toe. Okay, these don't have the heel in as yet. Let me show you. See, I'm conflicted here also, because I wanted to maintain that red, black, and green theme, but I made a green toe, and this would be red, green, then black. It's probably not that big a deal, but you see, I made the heels, regular white yarn, and then I dyed it, okay? What's that? Oh, that's just fluff. I was like, what's that on it? Did I get some black? No, this is regular. So I'm not sure about this. I love the green, but we will see because I have some white. I made another set of heels. There was a white, and I may just dye those black and just keep going with my red, black, and green theme here. Okay. Um, let's put this here. And let's try and wrap this up because I see we're over 15 minutes. Oops. Okay. This one, I did my after toe and I've done my after heel. You see all that waste yarn so I can Kitchener. Okay, so this one is almost done. And I have, oops, let's take this apart. And I've done the cuff. Okay. And you see all of this below the green, that's waste yarn. I ran out of brown waste yarn, so I'm using blue waste yarn. And when I'm done, I'm going to Kitchener the green. Yeah. And it'll look as though I made one complete sock. Now you might say to yourself, you've got a circular sock machine. Why are you doing this? Because I had these tubes and I just didn't have fun hand finishing them. But playing with the machines, this is now fun. And remember last episode I talked about doing those 3 rows of stockinette so I could join the cuff to the sock and throwing them on the flatbed knitting machine? I realized that was a waste of time because the amount of time I spent hanging the 64 stitches on this onto the machine, I could knit 3 rows. Okay, all I'm doing is 1 row at 2 mm, the second row at 2.5 mm, and the third row I think should really be at 2.5. I was thinking 3, but I think 3 is a little too big. That's like what, less 7 minutes of knitting? So it's a waste of time to throw it on the flatbed, so I'm not doing that anymore. But when I'm done, this one will be really nice. This green is so vibrant. Wow. And okay. Oh, I bent my head. Well, I turned it sideways. Okay. But what, another challenge. I opened this in the wrong place. Cuz like this would be on the top of your toe, this would be on the bottom of your toe. When you wear the sock, it's sideways to your toe. So what happens when I do that? When I turn the bottom sideways the way it should, it's twisted. So I have to now Kitchener half of it closed, and when that's done, half is open, and then open the other half on this side. How did I do that? I have no idea. But this is fun. This is one of the adventures when you're doing the stuff that I do. Okay? And you would say to yourself, but she has a circular sock machine. Why is she doing all of this handwork? Because it's fun to me. You don't have to do that. You can make your entire sock on the machine with no issues. But if you get a tube or someone gifts you a tube and you have a circular sock machine, you can finish it on the, you can throw it on the machine and let the machine do most of the work and just Kitchener when you're done. Just Kitchener till you're done. Okay. And these two, oops, aren't done yet. They're still here. This is going to be a shorty because there's not much of it. This one will be a little longer. But I'm still plugging away, and I've dyed yarn for the cuff. I think for the I'm going to use this with the shorty and make a really tiny shorty, a short shorty. Yeah, because there's not much of this. Adding the toe will give it some length, but there's not much of this. Okay, so that was my week so far. I had some other things going on, but oh my God, we are way over 15 minutes. I am sorry, I'm taking up your craft time. Okay, so the rest of this can wait till next time. Until we meet again, have fun. Whatever you're making, have fun and do it your way. Whatever works for you. Okay? Till we meet again, have an awesome time. Bye.